thank you so much for joining the next episode of the Emergence Show. I'm Nico Farah, your host, and we have been talking about latest and greatest in emerging tech and immersive experiences every single week for over 2 years. Last couple weeks, we talked about the power of augmented reality. We had an amazing guest, Warren, talking about how augmented reality can help our local communities beyond just helping retail brands globally. We can also focus on our local communities, help with tourism, help with bringing people together and build communities. Then last week we had Jon Yu talking about how there are these infrastructures that are no code, that are more democratized, that you can go build these augmented reality solutions and modify them on the spot as you get inspired. So, really good conversations around this topic. And this week, we're continuing that augmented reality conversation with another amazing guest, Mexihkano Reyes. Has been my go-to person for anything augmented reality. I have known him almost from the beginning of getting into the Web3 space. And I remember him coming to our Twitter spaces and talking so passionately about these technologies and exciting people about going and trying them or building with them. And we have this amazing community of digital fashion designers called the Fashion Now, and through that, we saw that how these technologies are actually very helpful to bring utility to a lot of these amazing creations. So Mexihkano has been leading communities, managing them, supporting the creators, and not just promoting these technologies, but also teaching people, solving problems for them, building connections. So I'm really inspired by him and everything he does. He has really cool stuff that we'll show you today. But other than that, we both studied at the same college, so which is great. I love to hear his the story on how he got to this space. And yeah, we're excited to have you on. How are you doing today?
I'm doing so good. Thank you, Nico, for having me. Thank you for the presentation. Let's go, Comets. Whoosh.
Amazing. Yeah, tell us more about your background. I know that you studied art and technology, so tell us a little bit more how you got into this space and build your skill set.
Yes, this time I will tell a little bit more about the story just because lately I think it's important just to talk about, where one comes from, how I got here. Maybe if I was to look at myself during this interview, I want to know, the journey. Sometimes it helps, because lately I've been kind of getting inspiration from people's stories. So I'll just tell a little bit more. So I was born and raised in Mexico, in the city of Nezahualcóyotl. When I moved to the States, I joined the ninth grade level. So when I joined as a ESL student. For those of you who don't know, immigrant students that come to the U.S., they put them in a separate program called ESL, English as a Second Language. So you basically have classes with other immigrant students that don't know English as much, and they have specialized teachers that they kind of build the lesson plans according to this knowledge of English, because they cannot just show you um, regular classes. They cannot just teach you normally because you don't know the language. So I was in ESL for about 3 years. During my fourth year, I believe it was in my junior year of college, that's when I finally got out. I finally was able to have like normal classes per se, only to discover that there was like another level, like the AP courses. So it was like something that I was always like striving for. I joined classes during my senior year in college, going towards senior year of high school, sorry, going towards college. So that was also very interesting. I was very proud of leaving there. Just so everybody knows. When I joined college, I was actually going for mechanical engineering. So I took a lot of engineering courses in high school. Uh, it was, let me see, about 4 or 5 classes that I joined. Very interested, very into it. only to join the college and kind of like take this 180 turn towards the engineering, just because I didn't feel really prepared. So I wasn't taking the math courses that was truly required because, I was ESL student. I couldn't get there. Other things happening in life, and I ended up liking just the aesthetics of mechanical engineering better than actually building things, just because of all of the things that happened. So I ended up moving to the arts, technology, and communications college, which is where we both graduated from. And it was perfect. It was the perfect combination of knowing a little bit of having a bit of technical skills, but also being creative enough and having more hands on projects than just like sitting down and like learning about the stuff. So I really liked it. I really enjoyed it. I'm really glad that I switched because that's what I truly enjoy. Like you said, when we met each other, when we joined spaces, I really talk like I enjoy what I do, which I do. So yeah, it was very fun. Throughout college, it was a complete combination. I literally kind of like built my own degree. Like I did follow the degree path, but I was taking the classes that I enjoyed, that I just saw the name is like, oh, that's something really cool to learn. Whether it's digital fabrication, like 3D printing, laser cutting. Obviously, 3D modeling is something that I have done for like a while. The first program that I used was it's called SketchUp. I was like 12 or 13 years old, and then I went to like Rhinoceros, other engineering programs, and nowadays it's more like Blender and Cinema 4D. So I have that 3D knowledge. But in this university courses, I was taking projection mapping classes, performance classes even. So it was like a full combination of courses that I truly enjoyed. And again, I'm really glad that I did. So fast
Amazing.
forward, graduated in at the start of COVID. So I didn't even have a graduation, Nico. Like I tried it. I tried to join online, but it was just not the same. So during that time, everything was chaos, and I was already very into digital communities because I just thought that was the future. Like, why did I need to bring a physical notebook to class? Like, I was that rebel that professors didn't like because I was everything digital. I wanted everything digital. And there we were, 2020, everything had to be digital. It was forced into us. So I was kind of like thriving because I was already used to it. And that was great. It was great for me to find it was really easy for me to find communities online, which I did, like that's how we met. And yeah, it was just upward from there. I mean, it always goes up and down, but it was really easy for me to assimilate to that culture. I was already online. I was already developing my digital identity, which we can talk about as well. Yes, and I just started discovering and self-learning. I was already self-learning a lot in college by not following the degree path and just like doing my own thing, using my own programs. Yes, and that's just something that I do to this day. Like I find tools and resources and communities online. I join them. I become really good at what I do, and then I help people to also do the same because there's so many people around the world. They're trying to. I mean, they're all going through their own stuff, and they just want to find a community. And it gets lonely sometimes online. So it's honestly like an honor for me to just join and help whatever in whichever way I can. And yeah, and just create together. So that's pretty much the
Amazing.
seven
Thank
minute
you.
summary, I guess.
I appreciate you sharing. This is amazing and inspiring that you feel empowered and then you go and empower others. That's really powerful. And yeah, our education system sadly is not as great and definitely needs to be revolutionized. They're resisting for change instead of going with it. So yeah, there is a lot to be done. But yeah, tell us a little bit about how you got into augmented reality and Web3, what motivated you, and then how you got into fashion.
Yes, I think it was just in that order. So I was learning projection mapping, and eventually you need to project something really cool. So I was actually friends with a lot of different student organizations, and they have events, they have parties, they have school events, and I I was really good friends with my professor, the one lead of the lab that had the projectors. So he would actually let me use the projectors, and take them to those events. and I will have to just put some visuals. And at the beginning, I used Beeple's visuals. If anybody knows Mike Winkleman, his name is Beeple. His artist name is Beeple. He's very well
Mm-hmm.
known in the NFT space, and I actually learned from him because he not only gave away his visuals for free as a uh, what is it called, Creative Commons serial license, so anybody could use them for anything, even commercial purposes. So that's what I used. But then I wanted to learn how to make my own, and he also gave away the original files of the software. And I
Wow.
was like, this is amazing. So I was learning from the files and eventually learned how to make my own visuals. And that's how I started my 3D motion journey. And eventually, at the end of college, since everything was digital, there was no events. I still needed people to experience, 3D motion or have some kind of interaction with 3D. The best solution that I could find was augmented reality because it was just more interactive. So on a video in an event, it's fully interactive. You're fully immersed in the event. But online, to me, at least to me, I kind of felt like something was missing, which obviously was. And that interactivity came with augmented reality. So now I not only create um, videos on a flat screen, like people can actually interact with them. And I feel really cool using them because it makes us feel like we're in the future. So that's kind of like how I got into augmented reality. I started learning all the tools, all the possibilities, all the restrictions as well. But yeah, that technology is getting better. So by using that technology, I discovered digital fashion. It was literally filters for the body at this point. And yes, it was very new. I wasn't too happy with the tech, but I just kept pushing it, kept learning new tricks. And that's how I got into normal fashion because every industry was trying to be digitized, even the fashion space. So they were learning 3D softwares, they were learning the motion programs that I learned as well. So I started to join those communities because traditional fashion designers needed to understand the 3D process. So I was there to uh, collaborate with those fashion people, and it was amazing. Like that's how I started to learn about traditional fashion. To me, digital fashion, it was video games and AR filters for the body. So that was really fun. And yeah, so eventually I discovered specific technologies that I wanted to use. I learned them, and again I joined the communities and everything else. At the same time, during COVID, that's when I also discovered Web3. And that's when I discovered them because of people. He released yeah, he just got very famous and very rich with NFTs
Yeah,
and
he
with the
sold
Web3
that
space.
piece for $60 million. Yeah.
Yes, and that was just something that really inspired me because it was like digital art, digital money, and it just opened so many doors for me that I didn't know even existed. So I got into
Amazing.
the NFT space. We can talk about a little bit about the projects later, but yeah, that's pretty much how I got there.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. It's interesting. I didn't know that you learned and you got inspired by people. Yeah, he has this thing that like you should like he used to create art every day for I think years. And he just had a competition. If you guys follow on X, a competition that the winner was also uh, doing that same path, kind of like you, Mexihkano, inspired by people creating art every single day. And this concept reasonably works in every area. Like we heard something similar in social media. If you put out the content every single day, I think Gary Vee talks about it and others, eventually something will take off because it's just a matter of statistics, and you just keep creating and ideating, and eventually you find your niche. And so this consistency and perseverance is what makes people succeed. So that's really amazing. Thank you for sharing that. I want to kind of pause the conversation and thank Ian for all of his contributions and great comments. Yeah, definitely. All the great points that he's making in terms of like Gen Z and younger generation, Gen Alpha, they're all digital native, and so when we are thinking about creating products and solutions, brands, they should be understanding the importance of digital assets, digital everything. And so that is really good point. And the open internet that you mentioned. So yeah, definitely really good points. He has some recommendations for you to check out as well. But yeah, thank you for your contribution, Ian. Thank you for all amazing audience. Feel free to comment and share your thoughts and questions. I want to show to our audience some of the great work that you have done. And maybe you can kind of tell us a little bit more about them before we get into the communities that you have led and the projects you have worked. Does that sound good?
Yeah, sounds good. I also want to say thank you for Ian for being so active in the comments. He's really following the conversation. Yeah, ask any
Yes.
questions you
Yes,
want. I'll check
amazing.
out Freak Dali. Yes, thank you for the comments.
Yeah, guys, if you go to Mexihkano's Instagram, you will see these amazing, amazing creations that I'm really amazed by. Like, I follow a lot of creators. Hands down, Mexihkano is the best.
Thank you.
So, like, whichever you want to talk about, just let me know. We can pause and maybe, or our audience, maybe you guys tell us which one you want us to talk about. These are really damn cool. Like, I love them.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I guess we can show. I really like their most recent one. If you go, a woman with the brownish
This?
dress and like purple hands.
Oh, this one. Yeah,
Yeah, so this is Marjorie Hernandez. I recently saw her in New York, and this is a video, and she's wearing some of my creations. And we're
amazing.
actually at another art exhibit, at an art exhibit with another great artist, um, also from the NFT space. But just so people can kind of see, this is augmented reality for people that might think this is CGI or VFX even. No, this is augmented reality. I'm using a camera. She's interacting with 3D in real time, and she's able to see herself. So, it's if you think this is not great, I think this is some of the best augmented reality, especially when you try it yourself. You can see that it really moves with the body. It's not looking pixelated. Some technologies just don't look real because it glitches, like it doesn't fit in your body properly. Maybe the material again is really pixelated. So yes, this is purely augmented reality, and she's also one of the co-founders of Luxo, a blockchain that you guys should really check out in terms of digital identity and just social. I would just say like social it's social industry. Sorry. Yeah, but this is something
Yeah,
awesome.
thank you for sharing. Yeah, Luxo has been focusing on creatives and creators, and they're big fan of fashion. I know Marjorie also co-founded Dematerialized, and they are all about digital fashion. Very cool. Thank you for sharing that. Hey, Gabriel, thank you for joining us. Yeah, you have done really, really cool stuff. And just how neat and clean are they? Like, maybe let's check this one out. Is that
Yeah, that
your
one is
work?
actually that is not my work. So that is actually a gift that I got from a fashion magazine called Glitch,
Wow.
and this is actually the cover of the magazine, which I think is really
Wow.
cool. So yeah, I was just making a video for them. They were kind enough to send me a magazine from Europe. So this is kind of
Wow.
like my way to say thank you, and also my way of learning how they created this, because this is actually inside of Instagram. There's a lot of ways for people to experience augmented reality. A lot of different applications. The most well known is social media, but there's many other solutions. And I was really impressed that it was running inside of Instagram. When I started using Instagram, it was just not the quality that I wanted, but this is pretty good. And yeah, I think it's really good to show it that this is possible.
So how can you tell us a little bit about the technology? Like, how does this get activated? Like, the image on the magazine has something that will activate this.
Yeah, so this is basically just following the image, the cover image. So the camera detects the image, and then Instagram's technology knows what their image is at all times. As long as it sees the image on the camera, it knows that, hey, this is a marker. You can you can put stuff in here. In this case, they created like a digital scope. This is a digital cover in this case, and it's fully
Yeah.
3D. So as you can see, I can actually move the magazine, and it will follow the tracker, which I
Wow.
think is really cool. Now, to me, the future is, and Meta already announced this when they released the AR glasses in 2027. You're gonna be able to just see this kind of stuff, which I think is the future. Like everything that we make digital, everything that we make augmented reality, when we have those special glasses, it's just going to activate. Like this layer is just gonna come on top of our reality, and we're gonna be able to see all of this stuff. People wearing filters, animated posters and ads and art exhibits, everything. All this digital world is
Yeah.
just gonna come off. So it's really interesting.
Really amazing. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, I mean, if you get to that point, that would be fascinating. Um, any other one you want to talk about? Just let me know and I can open it.
Yeah, let's just show something different. Maybe the one with the lion, just to show that it
Which
is a
one?
digital. Yeah, the lion,
This?
the orange lion with the
This
hoodie.
guy?
Yeah, that guy.
Okay.
So it is augmented reality, but it's also just fully digital realities. So what if you don't have to be human anymore? I mean, people dress up all the time. So why, and people use characters online all the time, and it can also represent yourself. Maybe some people just want to be a lion. Maybe it's just for one day. Maybe it's just a special occasion. Maybe it's just branding. It's pure branding. So,
Yeah.
and that is showing the augmented reality that it still works. So yeah, I mean, I not only make I guess traditional fashion items, I also like to create avatars. There's also a lot of avatars in the NFT space, a lot of PFP projects. I work with a lot of characters from those NFT projects. So yeah, I think this is just like the perfect combination of augmented reality and Web3. So yeah,
Amazing.
that is to show also a little bit of how
So
people will
the
use it.
the other one was a full avatar, not AR. This is AR. Right. This is not AR or is it also AR?
It is also AR. I'm using the same technology. I'm just not showing the camera background. In this case, yeah, there's still a
So
person
it's a different
talking.
filter.
It's the same filter. I'm
It's the
just
same filter.
hiding the body in the background, but it's the same filter.
So the user does that, or is this something that you would need to do in the back end?
Yeah, I built it on the back end. All you have to do is like tap on the screen to toggle like avatar mode,
Ah,
and then it will show
okay.
the body and everything
Got
else.
it.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Thank you for sharing that. And what technology did you use to build this?
For this, I'm using Unity.
Okay.
Unity and a plugin slash platform called Filta, which
Filter.
is basically like a Web3 marketplace for filters. So yeah, that's pretty
Awesome.
much it.
Thank you for sharing. If our amazing audience wants to ask questions, let us know. And you mentioned the NFT projects. Is there any of them you want to talk about or show that you worked on? And here you're introducing different ones. Is this the one that you did for the punks?
Yeah, so this is a commission. So I get commissioned by collectors of those projects. So in this case, this person wanted to just, they want to remain anonymous. They also want to remain safe in a digital space. So they can also wear this kind of stuff during meetings, like I am right now. I mean, also just to express themselves like fashion. But in this case, yeah, like for the CryptoPunk, this is just a special commission that I created. I'm looking for other collectors that are interested actually right now. There's a giveaway on my X account. If you want me to create something like this for you, I'm just giving away a commission for people to try this stuff and for me to discover other punks. But yeah, this is something that they can use.
Amazing. This is really cool. And so basically, can you tell us a little bit about the process? Like if a client comes to you, they just give you a 2D image and then you kind of use your creativity on giving it more interaction. How does it work?
Yes, so Either that they give me the 2D file, just the image, and then I just build. In this case, it's just a bunch of cubes. I do have to like animate them, make them work with the mocap technology. In contrast to the lion, they give me the full 3D files, but it's like they can be like a block. Like it's just like a sculpture. I still have to connect everything to make it move, make sure it reacts to the face, that the bangs and the hair move. So yeah, I work with all kinds of files. It just give me 2D. You can give me 3D files. Yeah, anything works.
Amazing. Wow. And can you tell us a little bit about your process, like the tools that you use, the timing, and everything else? Like, I have to take this from here to here, kind of a high level, if you can, because we have a lot of creative technologists in our audience that probably would love to hear it. And I think this is kind of like you're showing the Blender side.
Yeah, that was gonna say we can kind of show there. So that is this client gave me the model already, so all I had to do is bring it into Unity, and you can see there when it shows kind of like the 3D model. We can pause a little bit after right there. You can pause right there. So people can kind of see the mesh. So the reason that I use Filta is because they allow you to bring in high quality 3D models.
Hmm.
So you can kind of people that know about 3D, they can see the mesh in there. Sometimes it's very limiting according to the platform. You cannot bring this quality just because augmented reality and social media is not really meant for this kind of stuff. It's just meant to be social, to be something funny. But in this case, because it's a dedicated platform for digital wearables, they allow you to have the fullest quality. So now we can play the video and people can
Nice.
kind of see that it is a full model. Um, it
Wow.
is running. I mean, you can see I'm wearing something similar right now, and yeah, that's pretty much how I do it. So if they give me the models, sometimes all I have to do is bring it into Unity and connect all the things. Yeah.
So that's basically the rigging that you do, or
There is no rigging
no rigging?
associated in this one. Let me
So
see. Let.
then,
Mhm.
how do you kind of fit it into the person's, or is that what the technology itself does?
Yes. Uh-huh. It's just a technology. This is something that probably all of the AR technologies have. So in the same way that they detect the image on the magazine that we take a look at, they detect the face. So they just say, "Hey, here's a face," and you
And
can attach
morph
things
this
to it.
onto the face. Yeah.
Yeah, just follow the face, and you can place anything. So in this case, I just mold the mask into it, and it follows the face everywhere it goes. Hmm.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm more familiar with like body virtual try-on, and we used to do like morphing of the garment into the body. So it's pretty much the same thing also for the face.
Hmm.
Very cool. Amazing. This is really cool. Thank you for sharing that. If our audience has any questions, otherwise, we're going to talk about some of these different tools and communities that you worked with. Um, you just brought up filter, so let me share my screen about filter if you have it. Do you have it in your oh yes, you do have it on your website. Very cool. Yeah, tell us a little bit about filter and how you got connected with them. What do they do? How our audience can tap into it. And which one do you want me to click on?
Um, you can just click on the website. You can also show these as we go. So Filta, like I mentioned, is a platform dedicated for, let's just call it face filter NFTs, just to keep it simple.
Hmm.
In social media augmented reality, you can create AR experiences, but you're not allowed to sell them. A company can come in and hire you, and you can do the work for them, just like a traditional freelance, but you don't really like own your creations, and you cannot really sell them directly. So this is just a marketplace for creators that want to dedicate their craft for digital fashion, wearables, avatars, and they're all NFTs. So what I mean by that is if you do not own the NFT in your wallet, you cannot use it. But if you do, just like an NFT, you can sell it, you can transfer it, you can bring it with you across different wallets, and pretty much the same thing that NFTs does. But also they use Unity, which is another very important thing. And Gabriel Fernandez in the comments is like, yes, AR, 3D, and Unity. Yes, so Unity is a game engine for people that don't know. And
Mm-hmm.
actually, a lot of the other applications are based on how Unity works. So it just makes a lot of sense for me to use this for this like very special case. So you can still do like makeup, like a lot of people do, but it's mainly used for face wearables. Like to remain online, to wear something more interactive when you're streaming, when you're in meetings, like kind of like I am. You can see those NFT wearing those. That's a Clonex project by Artifact, a company owned by Nike. So there's a great variety in here. So
So how
I
does
got to talk.
yeah. No, go ahead, and I will ask my question after.
You can show the second image. That's actually the CEO of the company. His name
This
is
one?
Chris Horn. Yes. So I met Chris actually through a previous client. Her name is Emily, people pleaser. I think we can talk about her later because she's really important in my career.
Mm-hmm.
So Chris Horn is from California. He had Field as a startup when I joined. Um, Yes, and I was basically one of the first artists to work with him, kind of like testing the tools, seeing how everything works, and I actually learned most of my Unity. Not I got most of my Unity knowledge from him. Like he's the one that sparked my interest into it. He's the one that showed me the tools, and then eventually I learned about a bunch of them. And like I started as an artist, and then I helped him with like create tutorials for the community to create a couple of resources for the community as well, and now I am the community leader. So yeah, it's been a whole trip with Filta. I joined them about 20 like late 2020, early 2021 as well during COVID times. And yeah, it's just been great to work with them. Like I've been there to like see the growth of Filta, test out new tools, help them, uh, build new things for the community as well. So yeah, it's been great.
Amazing. Thank you for sharing. So I'm wondering about the compatibility of these tools with the different platform. Like we're on a StreamYard streaming from. Um, would you say like certain type of filters that you're creating only works with certain platforms like Zoom or not? Like, can you tell us a little bit more about that so our audience understands kind of like what they should use for what purposes?
Yes, so I can use these anywhere that you can use a camera. So any platform that you can use a camera online, any website, um, yeah, any social media, it will show us the filter camera instead of selecting your camera or webcam,
Ah,
depending where you are. It will select filter, and then anything that I wear inside of filter, I can wear in meetings. So yeah, like StreamYard, Google Meets, Discord, YouTube, literally anywhere that you can show your camera.
wow.
Even right now, because I'm on a Mac, I can use it on FaceTime, which I haven't seen a lot of people use. So
Wow.
yes, it's really versatile.
That's amazing. And is it just for Filter that this applies, or is it true about all the other platforms? I think because like when Instagram or Snap or others are doing it, it's only applicable for their platform, correct? But these
It
other
used to be like
secondary,
that. Yeah,
okay,
actually, I think yesterday or a couple days ago, Snapchat just released their web version of things. I haven't tested it, but that is a big switch from what you just talked about. Those things only used to work for, like if you make something on Instagram, only works on Instagram. If you make something for TikTok or Snapchat, it only works within the platforms. But just a
right.
couple of days ago, Snapchat actually just released their web version, which I have to take a look at. But it looks really promising. It works just like a Chrome extension. So it opens up in the website. You don't have to install Snapchat. Their technology
Hmm.
runs in the background. Um, yes, and it's like fully accessible, which I think is the most important. Well, it's not the most important thing, but it helps a lot to bring people into the technology.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna use Filta because of the quality. Some people want the quality, some people want the accessibility. I don't think we have the technology to have both right now, but that is the goal. So at least you have options. If you want something accessible, use social media AR, use Snapchat. They just released their technology. But people that
Mm-hmm.
do want a little bit more quality, then I truly recommend Filter.
Amazing. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, I think we have a question about this, how we can use your crypto wallet on your phone and use NFTs like Filter. Can you explain a little bit about this marketplace? You mentioned you have to own the NFT. And so is it that they connect the designers to NFT owners? And then when you build that, then you get a commission. Is that how it works?
Yeah, so that's the way that I work. People that have those 3D files from those collected NFTs, they commission me, they send me the files, and then whenever I post them, whenever I mint the creation, there's just this trust between me and them, and I send them basically the NFT to their wallet. So, for example, in a project, sometimes it needs to detect that you have the project in your wallet in order to give you like a pre-made filter. For example, yeah, like you have an avatar, you come into Filta, I don't create it, Filta created it, or like they have a collaboration with Filta themselves, and then it just shows that you own it. And a lot of projects and different platforms do this. Like they need to verify that you own the NFT, or
Hmm.
that you are a member, or that you have a certain thing in your wallet, in order to give you access to, a filter, an experience, or whatnot. So to answer Chris's question, yes, I use MetaMask on my wallet. All I have to do is just sign in with my MetaMask. If you wanna add a layer of protection, use Trust Wallet or something like Ledger to keep your assets safe. In my case, people don't have to own the NFT. They don't have to use that wallet specifically, and that's kind of like why I encourage them to commission me so they can stay safe and they can keep your assets safe. They can only send me the 3D files that are included, and then they can use a completely different wallet to use for Filta because it is very dangerous out there. Especially some of these NFTs are worth thousands of dollars, so I understand that people want to keep it safe, and yes, they just get them that way through me.
That's amazing. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, I think this is really inspiring our amazing community to want to convert what is in their wallet to something they can wear every time they're on a call or discussions. Awesome. This is really cool. And we can see different formats. It could be just an accessory, it could cover your whole face. Cool, very cool. Anything else you want to share about Filter before we move on to others, other collaborators?
No, just encourage people to come and check out the marketplace. You can see the variety of accessories. Yes, you can hide your face. It can only be makeup, like you see there in the second picture with Alisa. She's a makeup
Mhm.
artist, and it's fully 2D. It's fully tracking your face. You can be a whole avatar. So yeah, definitely take a look at the marketplace. If you're interested in becoming a creator, join the Discord. I'll be there to help you and guide you if you want to learn how to do this. They also have body tracking. It's not the best. I don't recommend it, but it works. It was pretty fairly. I would say is like top three at least.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we're going to talk about another company that you worked with that they do more body tracking. So the website for Filter is getfilter.com. Is that right?
Yes,
And all of these are accessible from your website, mexihkano.com. So
correct.
I encourage everyone to check it out. Let me share my screen and go to the next one. Really cool stuff. Thank you for all of this. Um, so the next one is 010, which I know they've been very active in the fashion space. Which one do you want me to click on? This one or this one?
We can click on the first one just to take a look at the website,
Sure.
just in case people don't know who they are. The same way that Filta specializes in face wearables, 010 specializes in body wearables and body tracking and digital fashion. So there you can see that it's fully interactive, like we talk about augmented reality. And what I like about 010 is that they specialize in this technology. So we have seen this across other applications like Snapchat and TikTok. Instagram doesn't have 3D body tracking, So when I discovered 010, I was in love with them, but it's because they make their own technology. So they used these other tools before. They were not satisfied with it was not fulfilling the vision that they had about the future. So, like I mentioned, things are not tracking sometimes. It just loses the magic of this technology. And um, if you're not using the right technology, at least for me, it's really easy to break the effect. But here you can see that everything looks great. It's tracking on the body. We're getting to the point that some people cannot distinguish if this is CGI, if this is augmented reality, which I think is really cool. Like now we can actually see the blending of the realities, right? So I would say that this is 9.5 out of 10. It's almost there. Some of the things look amazing. Some might need a little bit of work, but this is the best of the best body tracking that you can have. Um, yes,
Even better than Snap, because I know there was a so there were some really cool companies that got acquired in this space. I've been following this space for over 5 years. So there was this company called Forma that got acquired by Snap, and
mm,
they were truly in it. But I don't think it was so much like AR. It was more computer vision that was morphing the clothing to your body. So
mm,
I think that is a little bit different. And then there was Zkit that was acquired by Walmart. They were even better than Forma. And right now, Walmart, the way they're doing it is that they're not necessarily like letting the shopper try it on. It's more like they use their technology. And we talked about it on the session with OP, how they use their technology to kind of give you a diverse model that can show you different positions and how this fits their different bodies. But yeah, there are really cool solutions out there. But 010 is definitely doing a great job in the body tracking.
yeah,
Awesome.
they put a lot of attention to their body technology. Like I said, they built it from the ground up. So if you go to the tech tab, you can
Hmm.
actually see there how they're doing it.
Yeah.
Yes, I
Go
do
for
say
confirmation. Yeah.
yeah. I do say it's better than Snapchat's and people you can just try it. Like just look at the stability of this. Again, I would say it's like a 9.5 out of 10. It's not
Mhm.
perfect. Some poses might not fit. You might see a little bit of movement on the clothing. But in contrast to Snapchat, you can tell that it's
Yeah.
glitching. You can tell that it's not fitting. So Snapchat, I will give it like an 8, maybe 7.5. Like the rendering of the materials is great. But yes, this is just like the next level up. Yeah. If people care
Yeah.
much about it, this is the next level up. People that don't really see the difference, then I don't think it really matters.
Yeah, and I think with this boom of generative AI, these are just going to get better really quickly. We saw Google did some for like very specific upper body, I think t-shirts and stuff. So yeah, every company is these days really using these latest technologies to try to solve for this, because really it's really hard to track like the
Yeah.
whole body, and it takes a lot of training with different clean data. So yeah, I totally understand how challenging it is. Awesome. And tell us a little bit about the communities that you have been interacting, more specific about the creators, and you've been leading these communities. Tell us what are some of the challenges they're seeing. What are some of the exciting stuff that you have seen as working and talking with them?
Yes, if we can show, go to the creators tab.
This is, I think, the isn't it the creator? Oh, it's
No, this
not.
is the tech.
Yeah, I think
Um,
it just didn't
oh, it was
update.
lagging.
I
Okay.
changed my tab, so let me
It
do that.
okay. But yeah, I can start to talk about it. So yes, I was in charge of leading the community of digital fashion designers that wanted to join the platform, and these are designers from all around the world. So like I mentioned, I joined the digital fashion space at the beginning because I met a lot of people from the traditional fashion space that wanted to learn 3D. And it's a completely different story to create 3D for just animation and for video. And in this case, Now they have to create it for video games, essentially,
Mm-hmm.
with augmented reality. So it's a completely different process. It's actually been like a long journey for them, and I feel for them because they had to learn these 3D tools, and now they had to learn these gaming tools. So like I was there during that transition. I still am
Yeah.
here, so whatever they need, let me know. A lot of the resources that I created are actually available like through through 010. So if people want to learn them, we have a lot of educational content through there. So if people want to just hop into it, definitely check it out. And those were actually some of the challenges. Like people wanted to learn how to do this. There's not like specific, well, now there is specific tutorials, but there was not many resources. People didn't know what to do. I was there like as a community lead and manager to guide them through all of this. So challenges were just not knowing the steps, but 010 is just generous enough to to hire me to show the people the pipeline that they use. So it's like asking like Pixar or Disney or like an animation studio to teach you their ways. Zero Ten is doing it. So they show you all the programs that they use, all the steps that they take um, to create the work that they do for clients. So we created this for the community so everybody can learn how to do it. That was one of the challenges that people just didn't know what to do. Another one is just the tech challenges. So it might be a lot of softwares that people have to use. So maybe some of them just don't have access to the technology. Maybe they just don't have access to the software. Like some websites get blocked in certain countries. So it's a combination of just having the knowledge, but also having access to the technology itself. It, I would say that this is pretty futuristic. A pretty futuristic industry, so it does rely heavily on the tech. If you don't have the right technology, it might sometimes complicate things for you. So
That makes sense. Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. So, can you tell us a little bit how 010 works? Is that also a marketplace where connect creators with the owners, or is it different? Is it Web3 fully or not? I know that they also do a strong B2B collaboration. We actually met in person at one of the activation in New York City with Coach. So yeah, tell us a little bit more about how they work with collaborators.
yes, on the B2B side, they work with all kinds of fashion companies. Now they're releasing their shoe technology as well. Right now, as we speak, they're like at this event. So any clothing brands, any shoe brands that want to join, I truly recommend to work with them. Any creators that want to join, uh, this is a little bit different than other platforms. So for 010, you only send them the files fitted to their avatar. So you send them the clothing that fits to the 010 avatar, yeah, that avatar that you see there, and that's
Mm-hmm.
all that you have to do. They do not have a dedicated application for creators to do it themselves, like Filta and other ones. Here you only give the team the files and then they process it and then they upload it to the application and to the website. So it makes it a little bit easier to not do that yourself. Yes, so it's pretty easy to join.
Like, what is the timeline for these things, like both Filter and 010, from the time that you have your 2D or 3D assets to the time that you have this beautiful outcome?
It just depends on the complexity of the item. So in my example, with this helmet that I'm wearing, I collaborate with an artist called Ahmed from France. He sculpted this on one program.
Mm-hmm.
You saw the high poly mesh that we use, and I can directly move it into Unity. And then I just give it the material, attach it to the face. It takes me like a day. In contrast to something like 010, if you create a high poly garment, it does not accept it. It's just, um, it's also like involving cloud simulation, which is another thing that you have to optimize for augmented reality. So it really depends on the complexity. So if it's just a simple garment and a t-shirt and like a pair of pants and they're just moving, then it might take maybe a couple days, a week. It depends on the skill also of the artist. But if it's like visual effects and it's like it when I open my mouth, it interacts or like it does something where it has more logic. So yeah, it's just a matter of like how much you want to add to it, and that's the time it will take.
Awesome. And what about the pricing? Can you give us like some, rough numbers? What are we looking at for face versus body? Just to give an idea to our amazing audience.
Yeah, at the beginning it was great because that's when NFTs were booming, at least on Filta. So I was able to get revenue for somebody that sold one of my accessories for one ETH, which at that
Mhm.
point was like $3,000 to $4,000. So I would say that's like the max that I have gotten. Nowadays for commissions, I I fully adjust to like the budget and the price, so I can do something as low as 150 to $200, up to like $5,000 to $6,000. It really depends on the project again, on the complexity, on how
Yeah,
much do you want. Um, yeah, how much do you want to create? Just like any other project. So that's kind of like the the range, I would say.
awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, it's helpful to kind of know, give a perspective. I see that you have done some other collaboration. Do you want to talk about those as well? So let me share my screen. And if our audience has any question, feel free to type in the comment section.
Ah, yes.
Cool.
Let's talk about people pleaser. Because I mentioned she was a um,
This
very
one.
important part of my career. Yes. So this is an animation that we created for the Fortune magazine. This is for the
Do you
August
want me to
September.
click on it?
Yes. Let's see if we can click on it. Mhm.
It's on X. Cool.
Click on the second link. It says OpenSea collection for. Let's try it.
This.
Yeah, yeah. I wanted to show because she's also explaining the.
Let me share
Um,
that screen
mhm.
so we can see that. So tell us about her a little bit as I open this.
Yes, I connected with Emily actually through another artist Discord community for a digital fashion community, 3D artist community.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, so we fully resonated with each other, and then we were both into animation. She got really famous actually in the NFT space, in the Web3 space. So as you can see, Fortune commissioned her, and then she commissioned me to help her build this animation. So this is the I believe this is the first NFT that Fortune magazine created, and because she was very popular with that community, you see here a bunch of characters. But we are on Wall Street, so this is kind of like the combination of this digital, but also Web3 culture, Web3 world, where everybody's just a character. You know, it's just a PFP project. Maybe something silly, but it's I would say it's just pure hearted at the end of the day. So yeah, this is an animation you can kind of see here at OpenSea website for how much money is sold, and yeah, this is like one of the projects that I'm really like proud of being part of, just because of the importance, like bringing crypto into a traditional system like Wall Street, and people were just like very interested to hear about it. You know, it was kind of hard to talk about crypto because a lot of the scams, and it's just like something people cannot control really easily. So yeah, this is something that I'm glad to show.
Yeah, this is amazing. This is basically that idea of show, not tell. So you guys are showing some of the capabilities, telling a story, and that hopefully resonates with people. Awesome. Yeah, I don't know if they also compensated you guys from the Web3 format, like being on the same kind of smart contract, or it was kind of in the traditional sense. Which one did you guys go with?
The traditional. So again, they commissioned Emily, and then she commissioned me. So that's when we closed the deal. I'm not sure if she got any kind of like smart contract revenue from it, but from my
Yeah,
side,
that's
it
the
was just
sad
normal.
part. Like same thing I think happened with Bored Ape Yacht Club and those Bored
Mhm.
Ape characters. Yeah, hopefully we will see more and more of like equitable compensation because that's the ethos of Web3 that we all got excited about. So if you're selling your NFTs and they're because of the creators that they contributed in, it just makes sense to, have them benefit from this. Awesome. So tell us a little bit more about kind of the future of this space, how you're envisioning the future as a creator, as a community leader. How do you see it from the technology side, for the creators, from the consumers? How do you see everything shifting?
Yes, the future of tech, I believe, is very bright, especially now that we have AI taking over everything pretty much. So I'm very excited. I've always been actually inspired first by the technology. So I see the things that the technology can do, and then how I can use those to like either express myself or just build something fun, something that I want people to experience, something that I can sell. That's also very important to live off of it. And yeah, so the technology is getting better. I still think it's not matching our vision. Our mission is still like like very ahead of its time, where this world that we talked about is just activated, right? We need a lot of technologies to come together, which now we see that it's going to be the combination of Web3, AI, and augmented reality. So once that really comes into place, we're going to be able to see these things on a regular basis, just like we are right now on a online show wearing NFTs and whatnot. So yeah, I'm very excited for that. I'm very optimistic about the technology. As far as the culture and the people, I have also a lot of hope because I mean we are connecting right now with people throughout the world already because of the internet, and just making that more interactive. It's just gonna be more enjoyable. Like we're gonna be able to see maybe mini holograms or 3D models of people. Maybe yeah, like new live shows are gonna be way more interactive. Like we're gonna be able to actually see the audience, like sitting there, like or like at least their avatars floating. So I'm excited about everything that's gonna come in the future. I mean, for gaming, for fashion, for self-expression, education. Like I love teaching. Like you saw, like I just love showing people and talking and brainstorming and um, yeah, that's gonna be way more interactive as well. Like I wish we had this technology when I was learning because it just helps to have a visual sometimes. It helps to like if you're learning about something really niche or specific, like I want to see it in front of me. Let me interact with it.
Yeah.
At least that's the way that I learn best. And yeah, and like have like an AI assistant. Like that's been a huge help for like my own personal research, but also like for work. Like having that tech back then. Yeah, like I'm really excited about like today's students. Like they have a lot of cool technology, and yes, they're gonna be able to do great things. So let me know what you guys discover. Like I'm always excited to learn what's out there.
Amazing. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, this is really inspiring to see like the younger generation. They are growing up with these technologies and they're going to definitely make a lot of exciting projects and, revolutions into everything we're doing. So that's amazing. So, yeah, I would love for you to share how our amazing community can support you. I mean, you mentioned that you are doing a lot of great commissions. If folks have any NFTs or just, even images, videos they want to convert to AR, they can come to you. Other than that, I think you also provide some like teaching or consultation. What other kind of projects you work on?
Yeah, so if people want to support me, definitely commission me if you're interested in any of this. I also work, as you can see, with multiple startups and different companies. So maybe if it's a good fit for your company, for me to come and learn your technology. I have experience with, like you saw, like educating, creating educative content, managing the communities. I have applied for a couple of companies, so if they're watching, this is my this is my interview, I guess. Yeah, so anything that you see here that it's interesting to you and you just want to know a little bit more about, you can definitely shoot me a message on LinkedIn, on any social media. You can also just support me by wearing my stuff. So like you can go to 010 and feel that and just wear it, just show it to the world. That's basically what I want to see. That's all I ask.
Amazing. And of course, tagging you on social media at Mexihkano. So thank you so much for your time. Thank you for all the insights and education that you provided. This was very inspiring to see what we can do with these great technologies that we talk about every time. Thank you to our amazing audience, Chris, Ian, Gabriel, and everyone else who tuned in. We will be back next week with another gaming expert. Gaming has been the kind of foundation of all these great technologies. And I know you are a great gamer as well, right, Mexihkano?
Yes, I still game and I'm always gonna be a gamer. Yes.
Awesome. So they overlap a lot. But yeah, we'll be back on Tuesday, 12 p.m. EST. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll be in touch. Take care. Bye.
See you.